What's going on? Out here at Appomattox River Company in Farmville, Virginia, and we're about to do an unboxing of the new Feelfree Moken. Everybody's asking, had I seen it, had I touched it, if I had any ideas on it or thoughts about it. Well, today, you are gonna see it when I see it for the first time. So I wanna appreciate Appomattox River Company and all my friends up here for actually giving me access to this boat. You can see it's still in the wrapper. It hasn't even been opened. We're gonna do the unboxing, the whole thing, first impressions all the way through. So thanks for watching the video. Let's get right to it. I don't want to waste time. I'm excited to see the boat myself. So we're going to go through, and they let me cut the paper off, you know. So we're going to go through, we're going to cut this very gently, and then we're just going to walk through from one end to the other, and everything I think is different between this boat and my boat, and we're going to take a look at the seat. It's still exciting cutting it open, even though it's not my boat. Packaging is really good. I don't know if mine came with all the styrofoam on it when I initially bought mine. Lots of styrofoam wrap back here. Oh my goodness. It's like 6 layers of styrofoam wrap back here. Crispy. Look, I'm smiling all over the place. Packaging is really good. They reinforced it in the nose and at the tail of the boat. There's like 6 layers of styrofoam, which is fantastic. Okay, some definite differences on this boat than my boat. So again, this is the Moken V2. So this is the Feelfree Moken V2. And I haven't even looked at the boat and I want to get one. Just being honest. All right. So I'm smiling because initially after unwrapping this boat, I'm very, very, very impressed. Some definite changes in this boat versus my boat. I've got V1, this is V2. The first thing, since it's right here in frame, that I want to talk about is the paddle keeper. The paddle keeper is completely different. It's a rubber lock mechanism. You got one on both sides of the boat. Then you've still got the original paddle keeper back here. So wonder why they did that. But you still got your original paddle keeper right here. But that's awesome. The rails are different. They're not quite as long, and it is a different style of rail than came on my boat. One of the things on my boat that when I did my long-term review were the end caps on the rails, they popped out. These are screwed in. These are completely different rails, different end caps, and these actually screw in. So your end caps on your rails won't pop out. Definite improvement over what I had. Definite improvement. That's awesome. Let's see, what else going down that side? Moving to the back of the boat, I'm saving the front for something I just realized. Flush mount rod holders with rod keepers, same strap for your crate, same access port here to get inside the hull. Looks like the same type of gasket material. All that's the same. You got your cup holders. The tank well is the same. There are no extra scupper holes in here. You still got the same amount of ribbing on here. Totally different bungee system on the back of this boat. This is far improved from the boat that I have. On my boat, the rear bungee system actually went in the rails, and I actually lost a couple of the attachments that clip into the rails. On this boat, you can see they actually put eyelets and ran the bungees through the eyelets. There's a lot more tension. I'm actually lifting that whole boat. There's a lot more tension on these than on mine, and you don't have to worry about them coming out. You've also got full access to that rail, and you're not sharing it with your bungee strap system. That's fantastic. The bungees also lock in the center, so you can actually open them up. And even with them opened up, it's still a good amount of tension on that. Like, there's a lot of tension on this bungee system. I'm very impressed. You see I'm stuck on the bungee system, but it's such an improvement over what I had on my boat. That was one of the things that absolutely failed on my boat after like 3 years of rough use. So, all right, now the rear of the boat, once you get past the change in these rails, the rear of the boat is exactly the same as V1, same handle system. I would have liked to seen that improved. That was something that failed on my boat over time. The same rudder system, the plug system, rudder pin goes in here, and the patented wheel in the keel. If for nothing else, I don't know if I could ever switch brands and live without that wheel and the keel right there. This thing will really spoil you. Just moving it around the yard or whatever, loading it in the truck, you really get used to having a wheel in the bottom of your kayak that's just always there. It's so easy to move the boat. But that's it for the rear. I want to go up front. I know I said that I was going to start at one end and go back to the other, but when I cut it open, I saw some things that really got me stuck, and we're going to get to those now. So come with me and we're going to come back up to the middle of the boat.
Daddy, I need to go pee.
So moving back up front, and we're going to save this for last. Major changes in this boat. One, the pedals. The pedals are completely different. So you lock these by turning them, and now your pedals are locked, okay? I'm not sure how the rudder cables attach, but now when you want, you just do this, and now you've got free-sliding pedals. That's a huge change. One of the things I noticed about the rudder system on my boat is the springs that controlled the pedals moving forward. They did start to stick over time. I did have to oil and grease those. And sometimes the pedals don't return back up to center. But on this, you just release both of these, and now you can just push independently and do what you need to do. Also, very quick change on the foot position for those pegs. That's fantastic. Maybe add some, well, I don't know. I guess if you're pushing this way, they are hard plastic. So if you've got muddy feet, that may be an issue, and you may want to add something to it. That's just one feature that I really think is a standout on this boat, and I actually really love it. The other thing, which is a huge change for this boat that I wanted to save for the end, is this. It's got a sonar pod now. This is an opening that is very much just like the opening that was on the lure when it came out. And so in here is the sonar pod. So anybody who's had a lure would recognize this, this item. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got here. See if there's any difference in this and the one that came on the lure. So it goes in like that. Locks in up front. And that's in there with that one lock. Let's take a look on the inside. Sorry, it's brand new plastic, so I'm having trouble gripping it. So you've got a foam gasket for running your wires through here, okay? You can see you can just push that out, run your wires through, and put it back in, and that's gonna weather seal you. And then you've got your pod down here for putting your battery and bolting your sonar through, so you don't have to drill into the hole. And it keeps everything contained. All the wires and everything will be in there, battery, everything. That's slick. That was a definite huge upgrade to this boat over the original. And I'm telling you right now, looking at it, I don't miss the storage pod in the center. To be honest, on my boat over time, the gasket started to fail, and so the storage pod in the center starts to take on water, you know, heavy rain or swell. So that being gone, it's not a real big drawback to the boat. Then you just pop that and she comes right out. It's crazy, all it uses is a little button up front to hold this in. Sonar pod, awesome. Inside of the hull is the same. Let me close the, get this out of the way. The inside of here is the same amount of storage. If you guys saw my other video, which I could link, sorry. You saw my other video, I was able to pack a tent, a tarp, and a bunch of camping gear inside of this, and I wasn't hurting for space at all. So space-wise, it's the same as the other boat. Everything's the same inside the hull. Lid, same latches that come on have come on all the Feelfree boats up to now. This is a really good locking system on it. I've never had these fail or leak or in any way let me down. So the hinge and the latch system on this is actually really, really good. So glad that they kept that. I'm very glad they kept that. Big change to the boat right here is rod tip holders. So these are to protect your rod tips when you lay the rods down in the boat. I really wish I'd have had these. I had a rod tip hanging off the boat once and broke a $400 Shimano. Had I had rod tip protectors, that wouldn't have happened. But that's a really slick add-on. They didn't have to modify the boat at all. They just screw right on top of the boat. But they're pretty cool. You could probably get these aftermarket and put them on your existing Feelfree right now. Looking at it, I think that's, I don't know if you could move if you could buy the rudder system and put it on, but you could definitely add these to your boat. I've already gone underneath and looked at the hull underneath. None of that's changed. Scupper plugs, the hull. I expected this boat would paddle and steer and track the same as it always has. So I don't really see any need to flip the boat over and look, because I'm telling you right now, it's pretty much identical on the underside. Now, the last piece, which I've been saving to the end, and when you think about the V2, what everybody talks about is that it's got an adjustable seat. Okay, everybody talks about the seat upgrade, the seat. So we saved the seat to the end. I wanted to show you guys there's a lot more to this boat than just the seat that they changed. So I'm gonna go get the seat and we're gonna look at how it sits. It's very simple, not complicated at all. All right, here's the seat. So everybody's talking about the update to the Moken and that it's got a high-low seat now. The seat is very simple, not a lot of moving parts, not a lot to it. Welded metal. I've seen a seats this design, this style on other boats before, and it's just a high-low position seat. You get two positions on it. So I'm gonna put it in the boat and we're gonna look at the high position first. So that's the high position. The seat back is fully adjustable. I could probably pull that thing all the way down to there. But you can adjust the seat to wherever you want it. And it's just a simple nylon strap with a buckle. Very familiar with that. I mean, it's nothing fancy there. No amazing cam action or anything. But sometimes it's best to keep it simple. So there's the seat in your high position. It's got some O-rings to keep it from moving around right here. They screw in, so they're not going to slide off. They've actually got a screw underneath. That's going to keep the seat stable left to right. That's a high position. You've got a strap, which I don't have the buckle for it, but the strap would come around here, and then you feed it through the buckle, and you lock the seat down. Okay? The mystery machine just went down the street with a Flowmaster on it. Then when you want to put it in low position, it just slides forward and drops right in. Even in low position, this seat is higher than the seat that came on the V1. My V1 would be right where my arm is. It's about that much padding. So that's how high you were in the first version. So even in this, you got a ventilated seat that's gonna get you in even in the low position, put you up higher than where I was sitting in mine. So now, looking at the seat in the boat, when you look at the rudder system, if you notice, they're on an angle. So now when you look at the seat, that makes sense ergonomically, that you actually are pushing down into the boat and not straight across, because you've got a higher seat position. So on my boat, because you're basically sitting about 3 inches off the floor, the pedals push straight. And there's also a little depression down here for your feet to go. All right. Tension. Looks like you got the same type of tension underneath, just a webbing that pulls. I'd like to see that 550 cord, but time will tell how the cord stands up. Just being very honest, I don't want to sell you that I know what kind of rope this is and how it's going to hold up to moisture and sun and heat and cold and everything we subject kayaks to. If it was 550 cord, then I know how well it was hand up, but I'm not sure what this is. So how long you would have before this start to fray or go bad on you, I don't know. But it's just a suspension type of seat. So that would be your seat suspension there as far as compression and movement. So again, very simple design, but looks like it's going to be effective. And I want one of these. These are different. On my boat, what you had a large area to stand on that was backed underneath by a piece of plexiglass. I'm assuming that they kept the plexiglass here. I can't get underneath and see that, of course, but they gave you 2 pads. The pads are thicker than what's on my boat. These are about 1/4 of an inch thick at least, quarter to maybe like 3/8 thick, and the pad on my boat isn't that thick. So now you got 2 places to put your feet. It feels reinforced, and I would guess, based off the hull underneath being the same as mine, that your stability as far as standing is going to be the same too. So this is a stand on, sit on top. But the last thing I want to talk about, and we checked this twice because I was pretty shocked at the price. I think I paid right about $900 for my V1 with nothing on it. The V2 actually comes in below $900. So I'm not going to quote the price I was given exactly, but it comes in, I'm not talking $899 either. It comes in well under $900. So you get a proven hull, which you guys have seen me use in all kinds of environments on my videos. You know what the boat will handle because I've shown it to you. Rocks, current, waterfalls, rapids, white caps, surf, all of it. So the hull design is proven. And then you get the upgrades. You get the sonar pod, the upgraded pegs with the rudder system, the upgraded high-low seat, and you actually pay less for it. I want one. I'm not even gonna lie, I want one. The color's sweet too, but it actually comes in at less money than my boat with more features. And they figured out how to do it. I guess the market's become competitive and they had to try to hit that price point. But this is an under $900 boat that I will co-sign. I know everybody's not going to run out there and get, you know, a $1,500 tournament rig. But if you want to fish the style of fishing that I'm doing, this boat will do it, and you'll come in under $900 for the boat. You still got to go get a paddle and a PFD, okay? But there's some room there to help you with that purchase. So again, I'm at Appomattox River Company. Go online and buy it from them. They're my friends. They let me come up here and do the video, so big shout out to them because I don't have this boat at home. But Appomattox River Company, I'll link the website below if you want to check them out and actually look on their website and get the price. I don't want to say it because this video is being perpetuity and they could change the price, but go to the website, I'll link it below and you can get the price. Awesome boat.